Greetings, my dear beloved children. So, let's go on discussing what happens to the human soul's fragment that after physical death finds itself in the astral world. As soon as they realize the way the things are, they start adjusting to a new life, looking around. In the case we study, the soul's fragment of that good and decent person gets to the medium astral level that is inhabited by soul's fragments of the overwhelming majority of the average people, obedient and liable. Little by little they get to know they can survive only thanks to their native energy and start searching donors in physical bodies. And those are numerous on the planet. They are the ones whose conscience is controlled by the society, church, family, in a word, those who go with the mainstream, following age-old customs and traditions. As a result, this human soul's fragment carries on with the usual way of life, but in the subtle world this time. They see that many astral beings are quite satisfied with this lifestyle, and they get amused at making the circle of their donors wider and wider, supplying their usual world with energy. But our character finds it unfair to lead the same life but in quite a deficient manner. And they try to find some ways out of the situation. Since the soul's particle possesses conscience, it also has freedom of choice whether to advance or to stay at the same stage of the development. And they choose the first one. They have opportunity to visit other astral levels, get to know other energies and gain some information there. Obviously, this is possible within certain limits under the universal law like attracts like. Therefore, this human soul's particle can get down just to the upper sublevel of the lower astral and rise to the lower sublevel of the higher astral. Still, it is sufficient for them to understand the difference between these levels. Since at the subtle level there are no conventional things like the masks and hypocrisy that are commonly used by the humans being embodied, all these kinds of energy are apparent and perceived more keenly, in a more concentrated form. And the astral being, our character's soul fragment, gets horrified by the loathsome things typical of the lower astral, while the energy of the lower sublevel of the higher astral, just on the contrary, seems to be more exquisite and appealing to them in comparison with those dominating the layer they exist now. They interact with the higher astral beings who share the information available to them. These contacts gradually raise their vibration frequency and they switch to other donors on Earth, the people who are more advanced spiritually and whose energy appears to be close to theirs. This way they get higher and higher until they reach the very last sub-level of the higher astral, where they get the truth revealed in all its splendor. At this point their one and only desire is the reunion with the soul and transmission to other levels of existence, where they will be able to think over everything they experienced both on Earth and in the astral world, as well as get ready for the next incarnation. Of course, their dream comes true, for their soul is also eager to restore its wholeness and embrace its priceless particle lost in the astral. So, here comes the happy end of the fairy tale, my dear ones. It is a true one, to be honest, because in the astral world human souls' particles are quite often to fill in the gaps of the divine knowledge they failed to gain on Earth. Here we will stop for today. Father Absolute, who loves you without measure, has spoken to you.